When I opened my eyes, there was still a bunch of mud in my brain. What's going on? Didn't you stay up late in the dormitory last night and went to the medical experiment report? Why did I wake up and have a broken quilt on my body, surrounded by a wall made of mud, and there was a bitter smell of herb in the air? Lin Hao, your goods are tightening. There are a lot of work waiting in the medicine. A pointed female voice exploded in my ears. I turned my head and saw that it was a little girl wearing a coarse cloth, staring at me impatiently. She held a broom in her hand, and she seemed to want to slap me. I was stunned, and a pile of memories that didn't belong to me suddenly appeared in my brain. Lin Hao, a young pharmacist in the capital of Daki, died early, leaving behind a pill of destruction and hard work. With a little knowledge of herbal medicine, I can treat those who suffer from minor illnesses and have a very tight life. Traveled through time? My heart was shocked, and Lima accepted this reality. After all, the doctor has not been heard of the sudden death of a doctor who stayed up late. It is not wrong to be able to live now. However, in this body's memory, the capital has not been peaceful recently. The plague was raging, and many people died. The court ignored the matter and the people complained. Xiao Chui, don't make a noise, I'll get up now. I turned over and got out of bed, and called out the girl's name in my memory. Xiao Chui snorted, twisted her head and left, muttering, if you don't have a quick time, the medicine is really going to be closed. I put on my old long shirt, walked out of the room, and saw the true face of the medicine. The so-called medicine is a small broken yard, a few leaking houses, with some dry herbs on the cabinet, and a smell of mold in the air. There were several patients with slim clothes standing at the door, their faces were yellow and they coughed as if they were about to break their temper. Phone, please give my mother some medicine. She is almost out of reach. A skinny handsy pulled me, her eyes full of hope. My heart sank, and these people probably had a plague. In my memory, this disease is so painful, ordinary herbs don't work at all, and people who die are much better than cured. But I am a doctor at least. Although I am not a big shot, there are still basic modern medicine. The plague is mostly bacterial infection, and antibiotics can be used. Wait, antibiotics? Green soup. A sudden light flashed in my brain. Green pine is the originator of antibiotics. Although the production conditions are harsh, I still remember the principle. During the experiment class that year, the teacher also gave a special lecture on the easy extraction method. As long as there are moldy bread or fruits, and the suitable fermentation environment, you may be able to make it. Brother, don't worry first. I'll try a new way, I might save your mother. I patted the handsy's shoulder, turned his horse into the house, and began to rummage the boxes and go over the cabinet. In my memory, there is a small water tank in the backyard of the drug, which is usually used to store water, which is just right for fermentation containers. There is no such thing as bread in China, but you can find moldy food. Seeing that I was sweating profusely, Xiao Chui couldn't help but complain, Lin Hao, what are you doing? Those people can't afford the medicine at all, and we can't even expose the pot by ourselves. Stop talking, help me wash out the bag of moldy rice in the backyard. I shouted without looking back. Although Xiao Chui was unwilling to do so, she still did what she wanted. In the next few days, I squatted in the backyard like a crazy thing, guarding the tank of fermented rice water, adjusting the temperature frequently, and extracting the green essence liquid by simply filtering in my memory. In fact, this thing is definitely not pure and has no effect on modern medicine, but it should be used to deal with ancient bacterial infections. On the 5th day, I finally made a small bottle of liquid. Looking at it, my heart was so excited. This is my first ultimate move after traveling through time. That day, the sun came again, carrying his dying mother. I directly diluted the medicine and poured it into her, and silently prayed in my heart that it would work. Pharmalin, what kind of medicine is this? It won't hurt my mother, right? Hanzi looked suspicious. Don't worry, this is my exclusive secret recipe, it will be effective. I was so angry, but I was actually unsure. After all, there is a difference in the quality of ancient people and modern people. What should I do if I have allergic reactions? Fortunately, the next day, Hansy came to report the wedding, saying that his mother had subsided, and the cough became lighter, and he became much more energetic. A big stone in my heart finally landed on the ground, and the green bells were made. The news was spread quickly, and the mouth of the medicine quickly filled the people who were seeking medicine. I set rules that medicines are free, but every patient has to help with some work, such as taking medicine or taking medicine. After all, I was so busy that I could not come alone, and the production of green ginger also required raw materials. Farm Lin is such a living bodhisattva. My old man took your medicine and was able to walk down the floor yesterday. An old lady held my hand and her eyes were pursed and thanked her. That's right. It's not like those big pharmacies. The medicine is extremely expensive and doesn't care about life or death. A young man next to him also agreed. I felt so happy in my heart that I didn't expect that the first wave of time travel would attract so much people's hearts. However, the misogynist also came to the door soon. A few days later, a few guys wearing official uniforms came to the door of the medicine door. The head was a fat middle-aged man with big ears, full of flesh on his face, and it was obvious that it was not a good thing. Who is Lin Hao? Come out with a tight slam. The fat man shouted loudly, and swung the whip in his hand, and the people at his door were scared to retreat. My heart skipped a beat, and it was still lightly decorated on the surface. I walked out and bowed. I am Lin Hao, what are the costs of a few adults? The fat man sneered and looked at me up and down. Here, your little medicine has cured many plague patients? Humph, where's the ability? I think you are using demons to cheat people. Come on, smash this medicine on me. I became popular as soon as I heard this. This guy is clearly here to find fault. In my memory, there is a powerful minister named Zhao Tianba in the capital, and his minions are all over the government and the country. It is estimated that this fat man is his person. I think so. As a young pharmacist, I have cured diseases and saved people, which has damaged the wealth of some people, so of course they can't sit still. Sir, you can't say anything wrong. I saved countless people with this medicine, and the people are seeing it. Why are you smashing it? I gritted my teeth and went back with my head. The fat man was stunned. Unexpectedly, I dared to keep talking. He immediately said angrily, "What a big lie. How dare you hit me? Come on, beat me." Several subordinates Lima came up, and where could I be a weak chicken pharmacist? He was about to be beaten, but the people next to him were no longer fucked. A young man rushed out and yelled in front of me, "Physician Lin saved the lives of our whole family. Who dares to move him? Who will I fight with you?" Yes. Fight. The other people also shouted, and instantly surrounded the fat man and his men. The fat man's face changed, and he obviously didn't expect the public to be so big. He snorted coldly, "You are these troublemakers, can you rebel? I am the trust of Lord Zhao. Who dares to snatch a hair from me and copy your whole family? Lord Zhao? It's indeed Zhao Tianba's person." When I felt aroused in my heart, Lima seized the opportunity and shouted loudly, "Master, this master said it right. He is Lord Zhao's trust." But I heard that the 2 silvers that the court sent to treat the plague were all embezzled by Lord Zhao's subordinates. Do you also take a lot of this, master? As soon as this happened, the scene exploded instantly. The people were already dissatisfied with the court, and now they heard the news, they were even more angry. The fat man's face was blue and pointed at me and said tremblingly, Are you talking nonsense? Where are the evidences? Certificate? The gold and jade pendant on you, and the new boots you wear, aren't it the money that has been hard-earned for several years? The Imperial Court's disaster relief silver has become your decorations, right? I continued with a sneer, with a loud voice so loud that everyone can hear it. The fat man was panicked and wanted to run away, but how could the people let him go? He rushed up and blocked him and his subordinates. Finally, a few older Das came forward and said that they should not take action first and take the people to the government to deal with them. Physician Lin, if you miss you more today, we can find out this clerk. An old man pointed at me with gratitude. I held my hand and knew in my heart that this was not that simple. Zhao Tianba is not easy to mess with. Today, this time, there are mostly small games, and the real tough battle is still behind. Just as she was thinking, Xiao Chui ran out of the backyard and rushed to my ears and said, "Lin Hao, someone came to see you just now. He said he was a big shot, so that you could meet at a tea house in the north of the city at night." Big man? I raised my eyebrows and guessed a rough idea in my heart. If you can find me at this time, it is probably related to today's affairs. Will Zhao Tianba send someone to report it? No matter who it is, we have to go and have a look. Please make a medicine and be careful whenever you have something to do. I lowered my voice and looked towards the north of the city. As the sky became dark, I walked towards the tea house with Xiao Chui and a few bags of self-made medicine. I feel a little nervous and a little expectant. If you travel to this chaotic world, you can't always be a pharmacist, right? If you can seize the opportunity, you may be able to turn your back and do big things. The night is covered with the capital, and the lights on both sides of the street are shining with dim light. Occasionally, there are a few small huts shouting in silence. Xiao Chui and I walked through the alley in a low profile, carrying a few bags of medicine in our arms, and hurriedly heading towards the tea building north of the city. It is false to say that it is not tight in my heart. This is a country. The power officials acted, and I could kill me like this little pharmacist by just one person. But when you think about it, you have to always try your best when you travel to this strange world. Otherwise, will it be a waste of time for a slaughter to be a trash? Lin Hao, who do you think this big man is? Will he be the killer of Zhao Tianba? Xiao Zuijian said softly, walked along. Dong Zhang looked up with his face. Don't scare yourself. Zhao Tianba wanted to take action, so he had already smashed the medicine directly. He still had to ask me to go to the tea house? 80most because someone heard my medicine and had other plans. I said this, but I was actually not at ease, so I could only calm down. When he arrived at the tea house, the waiter saw us and immediately came up to him and said in a low voice, "But Physician Lin? Someone is waiting on the floor, please come with me." He looked respectful, with a sense of indescribable caution. I clicked the head and followed it to the second floor. When he opened the door, there was a young man wearing a plain long robe, with beautiful eyebrows and gentle temperament, but there was a deep and incomprehensible feeling in his eyes. When he saw me coming in, he stood up and smiled slightly. "Medical Master Lin, I have long admired Daqin, and I am here to go to Qiyun. I will take the liberty to ask you for a look, and I hope to see you." Qiyun? My brain was shocked, and Lima took out this name from his memory. The lost prince of Daqi Kingdom was suppressed because of his mother's loss that year. He had long been away from the center of power and became a famous and unrealistic leisure person. Are you looking for me to have sex? Could it be that I heard about Qing Su and wanted to bring me into the group? Young Master Qi is polite. I am just a pharmacist. How can I deserve the word long-term reluctance? I wonder what the young master is asking me for. I replied with a fist, without any slight expression on my face, and I was counting in my heart. Qian signaled me to sit down, poured a cup of tea and pushed it in front of me, and said bluntly, "Medical Lin, please speak quickly, so I won't be swearing. I heard that you used magic medicine to treat the plague in the capital, and your reputation has been greatly boosted, and even Tianba's subordinates didn't care about you. In fact, I am a prince, but I have been demoted long ago. Now I am isolated and helpless. If I can get help from Medical Lin, I will definitely be able to regain my power." When I heard this, my heart skipped a beat. Isn't this the thigh-hugging script in the tradition? Prince Yuzhao turned around and felt his blood boiling when he heard it. However, the risk of this is not small. The old fox in Zhao Tianba is not a vegetarian. He is probably not even left in a mist team. Young Master Qi, I am just a person who treats diseases and saves people. I really don't understand the affairs in the court and dare not interfere. I put on the recommendation and secretly looked at his reaction with my eyes. Qian smiled bitterly and said in a low voice, "Medical Master Lin, don't try it. I know you are not an ordinary person. Today, you exposed the defilement of Zhao Tianba's subordinates and forced them to leave in shame. No one else has this kind of understanding and wisdom. I don't want you to directly participate in politics, but I just hope that your magic medicine can be used by me, help me win the hearts of the people, and stand firm. Of course, I will not let you do it in vain. After the matter is completed, I will definitely be grateful. This is sincere, and I felt that this was an opportunity. Qingsu is my biggest trump card. If I can use Qiyun to expand my influence, I will not only save more people, but also help myself with a protective suit. What a shame, Zhao Tianba was already offended to death, so he simply walked to the dark side and fought for a big shot. Since young Master Qi values it so much, I'm not shy anymore. Let's form an alliance. What should I do in detail? I have to plan it. I grinned, picked up the teacup and touched him, which was a common understanding. There was a happier look in Qi Yunhui's eyes, and Lima discussed the details with me. We unanimously decided to start from the hearts of the people first, open a free medical center, specialize in treating the suffering people, and use the green trees to establish prestige. At the same time, he would secretly contact some officials who were not ashamed of Zhao Tianba to prepare for future counterattacks. Physician Lin, it depends on you for the matter of this hospital. I will send someone to the silver and the venue, and the people will feel our sincerity. Qiyun patted my shoulder, full of words and trust. Don't worry, wrap it on me. My chest was so slapped, and my brain was full of blue pictures of the future. For the next few days, I was so busy that I was not stuck in my feet. Kyungswan did not break his promise. The next day he sent a silver pot and found an abandoned yard in the east of the city. After a little repair, it became a medical center. I brought Xiao Chui and a few newly recruited helpers to work overtime to make Qingsu, and at the same time I filled the capital with the notice of free treatment. On the day of opening, the hospital entrance was crowded with people, and the people in the queue rushed from the street to the end of the street. Looking at the face full of hope, I couldn't express my satisfaction in my heart. Pharma Lin, is it true that I heard that this hospital doesn't have money? An old man asked with a cane and was magnificently. Of course it's true. Not only does it cost money, but it can be continued for free after you finish the medicine. As long as you are a bitter person, come and treat one. I responded loudly, which caused a lot of praise around me. The news was spread quickly, and in just a few days, the reputation of the hospital spread to the capital. Many people came to ask for medicine by their families, and even foreigners came here for a special trip. Qi Yunhuan was not idle either. He sent people to deliver supplies every now and then, so he let me listen to the people's evaluation of him. Lin Hao, I heard that several other big customers sent me a thank you yesterday, saying that I thanked your medicine for saving their old son. This is a good thing. Mr. Qi said when he heard it, he said with a smile. Xiao Chui helped me organize the medicine and said, Don't just be happy, that old thing Zhao Tianba won't sit and wait. We are snatching his wrist. It won't take long to get him hurt again. I pointed my eyebrows, and I always felt that I was a little unfair recently. Sure enough, it took less than a few days to get into trouble. That morning, the hospital opened the door and a group of people rushed outside. The one with a slut full of facial flesh on my head pointed at me and said, My surname is Lin, you are a slut, you are a slut, you are a slut, you are a slut. My brother took your medicine and vomited blood last night. Today I have to smash your slut. As soon as this came out, the people around him exploded and the debates came one after another. Some people looked at me suspiciously, and some people started to retreat, and the scene suddenly became chaotic. My heart sank, and Lima guessed that this was Zhao Tianba's routine. Slandering me for selling poison drugs. This poison can directly destroy the reputation of the hospital. I glanced at the slutty coldly and found that his eyes were hiding, not like he was sincere in his heart, and it was probably bought by someone. Brother, you can't say anything wrong. I saved hundreds of people with this medicine, why did you harm your brother? I have the ability to bring people, and I am very good at it. I raised my voice and deliberately let the problem go back. Wang Han was stunned, and obviously didn't expect that I would be so tough, and he said hesitantly, "People are dead, what are you bringing? Anyway, there is something wrong with your medicine. Don't believe him. Come and smash it to me." As soon as he snatched his hand, several gangsters behind him rushed in and wanted to do something. When the people see the situation, they retreat and look like they are about to lose control. "Stop it all." I sniffed, took out a small bottle of green purple from the medicine cabinet and lifted it up high. "Since you said that this medicine is poisonous, I will drink it for you. If it's okay, you have to apologize to me and tell me who instructed you." After saying that, I looked everyone in front of me and tilted my head and poured a small mouthful of medicine. The taste was so bitter, but I held back my voice and stared at Wang Han and sneered, "How is it? I'm still alive, what else do you have to say?" The whole scene was silent, and the people stared at me with wide eyes, making them stupid. He didn't expect that I would dare to be so desperate. His face turned blue and white. Saiba said, Are you telling me? Who knows if you are drinking real medicine? Tell you? Okay, then you can take a sip, and it is proof that you are not here to do anything." I poured a small cup in my hand and walked in front of him, and my eyes forced him to retreat. Now, all the people around the world understood. Someone in Lima started to cheer, "Yes, drink it. If you don't dare to drink it, you will be ignorant. Medical Master Lin dares to drink it, what are you afraid of? Someone must be instructing you." The stern collapsed and I wanted to run away when I turned around, but I was ready to wink at Xiao Chui. She was in the spirit of God, and with a few helpers, she blocked the door and slapped the person down. "Brother, what are you running for? Tell me clearly who lets you come, otherwise don't want to leave today." I approached step by step, my voice as cold as a knife. Wang Han was forced to make him unable to escape, and he knelt down with a sound. Tremblingly, "Don't hit me," I said. It was the man from Lord Zhao who gave me 50 or 2 silver pieces to let me come and have a fuss. He said that as long as he slandered the reputation of the hospital, he could give me 50 or 2 more. As soon as this happened, the scene exploded. The people started to sneer, "The dog thing Zhao Tianba is not bad for us, but I also wanted to destroy Pharmacy Lin. If this kind of person should be pulled to chop the head." I took the heat to fire and said loudly, "My country, Zhao Tianba is helping people and saving disasters, and he wants to cut off our life. Can we bear it? Today, I will sue the government. Don't forget to tell the people around you, who is sincere to the people." The emotions of the crowd were ignited in full swing, and they kept shouting for support. The sacred man was escorted by several hot and bloody guys and sent directly to the yamen. Although I know that the yamen is mostly Zhao Tianba's ground, and this matter is almost gone, at least today, the reputation of the hospital is not only not bad, but has become even more impressive. After the crisis was lifted, I did not dare to slacken. I found Qi Yunhui and told him the whole story. After hearing this, he pondered for a moment and said, "Physician Lin, you handled it beautifully this time. Zhao Tianba lost one move. He dared not take action in the short term. However, we cannot just stay at the hospital. We must find new breakthroughs and gain more support." Young Master Qi said it right. I have been thinking for the past few days that besides medicine, we can also start from the food and clothing that the people care about the most. Qian's eyes lit up and he pointed, "Good idea. Are you sure about this?" "Yes. I'm in my hometown. I've read some farm books before and know some simple methods, such as wheeling and fertilizing. As long as I have tried a few pieces, the results will be improved." I almost let it go, and quickly changed my mouth and put it on a confident look. In fact, these are the basic knowledge of modern agriculture. Ancient people did not understand it. As long as they operate properly, there would be no problem in increasing production by 30 to 40%. Qiyun heard this and immediately made a decision, saying that he would arrange several test fields and send someone to help me promote it so that more farmers can participate. In the next few days, in addition to being busy with the hospital, I also brought a few helpers to get up in the trial field on the outskirts of the city. From choosing to fertilization, I have worked hard, and even made some simple composting methods to teach farmers how to use livestock stool and straw fermentation as fertilizer. Although I was so tired that I was sweating profusely, looking at the amazing faces of the farmers, I only had a word in my heart: it was cool. Medical Master Lin, your method is really amazing. In the past, we collected up to 2 stones in one go. This year, according to your actions, it would probably double it. An old farmer looked at the gratifying crops in the ground and grinned at me. Brother, don't be rushing to thank you. When the harvest is really coming out, let's drink the funeral wine together. I responded with a smile, and thought in my heart that when this matter is done, Chiyunhua's reputation will definitely rise again. By then, not only the people at the bottom, but also some small and medium-sized landlords have to stand here. While he was busy, a young man suddenly ran over from afar and shouted, panting, Medical Master Lin, it's not good. There was another silence in the city. I heard that Zhao Tianba had written a book of Mr. Qi in the court, saying that he had privately contacted foreign ministers, and said that he was rebelling. Now, the whole city is spreading this matter. When I heard the news brought by the young man, my heart skipped a beat, and the head of my hand almost fell to the ground. Zhao Tianba, the old fox, was indeed not simple, and was actually in trouble directly in the court. He took a copy of Qiyun and was also labeled as rebel. This crime is not something you can do. Once you have done it, don't say that Qiyunhuan is the one who helps him with plans, you have to do it. Physician Lin, what should I do? Mr. Qi is so irritating. The young man was full of anxiety, and his head was covered in sweat. Don't panic, go back to the city first. I have to meet Mr. Qi immediately and discuss solutions. I patted his shoulder, strengthened his mind, and the speed plate in my brain had already started to count. Zhao Tianba's move was obviously a fatal blow, which silenced Qi Yun's hope of turning over. We must find a way to counterattack, otherwise we will give up all previous efforts. I hurriedly told several farmers to continue to take care of the test field, and took Xiao Chui back to the city with her quick whip. On the way, Xiao Chui asked with a grudge, Lin Hao, the old thing Zhao Tianba is really cruel. If you are detained for this crime, how can Mr. Qi bear it? We shouldn't go along with it, right? What are you afraid of? If Zhao Tianba wants to play, let's play with him. If he can learn a book, we can also bite him back. The key is that there must be a real handle. I gritted my teeth, and a thought suddenly flashed in my brain. These days, Xiao Chui has been in the city to hear news. Zhao Tianba's helping people has not been collected in a small amount, and he said he might be able to be sent to the market. When I arrived in the city, I went straight to Qiyun's footfall, an inconspicuous small courtyard. When he pushed the door in, Qiyun was sitting at the table, his eyebrows were tightly locked, his face was blue, and several confidants were also talking in a low voice, and the atmosphere was so depressed. Mr. Lin, you came just in time. News was reported in the court that Zhao Tianba had joined forces with several censors and submitted a memorial, saying that I secretly confronted foreign ministers, and even brought out several letters of written books, and insisted that I had the opposite meaning. Although my father was seriously ill, this matter was full of rain. If I don't fight back, I'm afraid my life will be difficult. When Qiyun saw me, he stood up, his language was filled with anger and helplessness. Young Master Qi, Zhao Tianba's trick is to kill you. We will be beaten immediately, otherwise he will be guilty of being accused of it, and no one can save you. I said in a deep voice, turning my head to Xiao Chui, are there any of the news you have collected these days? Do you have any of the hard materials of Zhao Tianba? For example, the defilement of saving disaster relief, or the evidence of affair with foreign enemies. Xiao Chui's eyes lit up and she said, yes. A few days ago, I heard from a few street gangsters that Zhao Tianba's trusted lure Matzi had often taken people to secretly move things outside the city. She heard that she sold the imperial military to the horses in the border area and changed a lot of gold and silver. I also knew that the next time they traded was at the ruins 30 miles west of the city, and the time was the night after tomorrow. Okay. This news is too timely. I slapped my thighs and said to Qiyunhuan, young Master Qi, didn't Zhao Tianba say you were against it? We just sued him for an affair with the horse and sold the country for a favor. As long as you catch this matter, you can't stand your feet in the court." After hearing this, Qian saw a flash of hope in his eyes, but immediately he said, "Physician Lin, although this method is good, Zhao Tianba has many people. Let's go and arrest the evidence. Once it was discovered, isn't he arbitrarily? What are you afraid of? We won't fight head-on, just play with it." I grinned and said in a low voice. The next night, I took a few reliable brothers, dressed up and secretly lying around the broken wall. I took a picture of their transaction certificate first, and then found a chance to beat the person in one net. As long as I took Luomatzi and forced him to confess on the spot, it would be difficult for Zhao Tianba to turn around the bill. Qian heard it, and finally made up his mind and pointed it out. "Okay. Just do what you said. I will contact several old ministers who are loyal to the royal family to help me make a sound in the court. Once the certificate is obtained, I will immediately report it and pull Zhao Tianba down at all." After the plan was settled, I didn't dare to delay and started preparing that night. Xiao Chui found several gangsters with good skills from the street, all of whom were miserable. They hated Zhao Tianba's helping others and heard that they wanted to mess with them, and they were ready to go. I also specially made a few sets of torn clothes and straw hats to disguise everyone as ordinary farmers so as not to be exposed in advance. The night after tomorrow, the moon was dark and the wind was high, and I quietly touched the broken temple in the west of the city. This place is so remote that it is full of weeds, and there are faint fires in the water. I can hear a few thick voices and low voices. "Physician Lin, there are indeed people. Look at those guys, carrying large sacks on their backs, and they are probably military soldiers." Xiao Chui lay beside me, pointing at the door with a small voice. I clicked the head and signaled everyone not to make a sound, hide it first, and observe it calmly. After a while, another team of people came from afar, riding a horse, hanging on a knife, and looking full of faces. It was obvious that it was a horse. Luomatzi, who was carrying the head, got off the horse, exchanged some greetings with the head, and began to hand over the goods. The sack was indeed full of white food. Action! I sniffed and quickly surrounded the person. Several gangsters had been furious for a long time, and they were all quarrels when they rushed up. The subordinates of Ma Feng and Luomatzi did not react at all, and they were knocked down after turning their eyes. Who dares to hurt me?" Luomatzi panicked and pulled out the knife and wanted to run away, but I had already prepared to pick up a wooden stick, smash it hard on his knee, and knocked him down. "Run? Where to go?" "Luomatzi, Lord Zhao asked you to sell military bribes to horses. The silver bribes you exchanged into his pocket, right? Today I will give you a long-lasting explanation. Don't want to leave." I stepped on his back, and my voice was as cold as ice. Luomatzi was sweating heavily in pain and said, "You're talking nonsense. I'm just passing by. How can I sell military goods?" "Passed by? Where did these foods come from? What's going on with these horses next to me? Brothers, search for me and find all the books and silver tickets on them." I swept my hand, and several gangsters started to find a bunch of silver tickets from Luomatzi, and a secret letter full of transaction details, holding the kind that Zhao Tianba privately printed. Now, the iron certificate is like a mountain. Luomatzi saw the situation and finally collapsed. He knelt down and begged, "Good luck. This is really not my commander, it was all done by Lord Zhao. He said that as long as we sell military food, we will share the silverware equally. I am a errand. Stop talking, write down everything you know, and write. I gave him a piece of paper and stared at him coldly. Luomatzi wrote the confession tremblingly. I took the certificate and asked someone to take the helper up and take the helper back to the city at night. As the sky was dawn, Qian and I walked straight to the court with confessions and certificates. Qian had already contacted several loyal ministers, and was waiting outside the hall, ready to go together. At the beginning of the North Korean meeting, Zhao Tianba was proudly accusing Qian of rebelling, but Qian came out directly and threw the certificate on his face. Sir Zhao, you say that I am rebelling, but you sell your own military robberies and hook up horse robberies. What does this mean? Is this confession and secret letter fake? Qi Yun's voice lens was powerful, and the civil and military officials were stunned. Zhao Tianba's face turned pale in an instant, and he said with great confidence, This is a slap. How could this official do such a thing? Then the confession must have been created. Damn it. Luer Matzi is outside the hall. Master, I might as well listen to what he says. I sneered and signaled to the servant to bring the person in. As soon as Lu Erma entered the hall, he saw Zhao Tianba. Lima was so scared that his legs were soft and shook all the previous causes and consequences. Even how could Zhao Tianba give a clear explanation? At this time, the court exploded, and many neutral ministers turned against each other and began to blame Zhao Tianba. Several veterans who were loyal to the royal family were filled with conscience and asked to investigate the matter. Zhao Tianba saw the big show, his face was full of redness, and he couldn't even express a word. Mr. Zhao, what else do you have to say at this point? My father is seriously ill, and the government will not allow you to sell foreign trade like this. Qi Yun was tight and his temper was unprecedentedly strong. Zhao Tianba gritted his teeth and glared at me fiercely, finally lowered his head and confessed, but he still left a hard word in his mouth, Kyungswin, don't be too proud too early, this official has some tricks. At the end of the court, Zhao Tianba was temporarily dismissed and was imprisoned for review. Qi Yunchuan's support rate surged. Many ministers began to open their own teams, and even the emperor on the bed issued an order to help handle the government. In this battle, we won all the results. Physician Lin, I've been obeyed for you this time. Zhao Tianba was defeated. I can finally catch my breath. Qi Yun returned to the courtyard and held my hand gratefully with his face. Young Master Qi, don't be too early. The last sentence of Zhao Tianba was not casual. He was in the middle of the court, and he had many loyal people, so he would not be willing to let go. We have to take advantage of this force to strengthen the hearts of the people and push your reputation a little higher. I reminded me, and my brain had already begun to think about the next plan. At the same time, the people in the city also heard about the affairs in the court, and the door of the hospital was filled with people again. Everyone said that I was a savior and said that Qi Yunqi was a good prince who truly served the people. Looking at this scene, I felt happy, but I was always uneasy. What trump card does that old thing in Zhao Tianba have hidden? Just as she was thinking, Xiao Chui hurried over and hurried into my ears and said, Lin Hao, it's not good. Someone just sent a letter, saying that although Zhao Tianba was imprisoned, his private army had secretly adjusted, and he might have to attack Mr. Qi tonight. As soon as Xiao Chui said this, my heart seemed to be hit hard by a heavy blow and I woke up instantly. As expected, the old thing like Zhao Tianba is not that easy to recognize. Although he was imprisoned, his private army could still be adjusted, which clearly had already left behind. If he succeeds tonight, Qi Yunhua and I, and even the people's hearts and efforts that have been hard-working for these few months, will be finished. Lin Hao, what should I do? We don't have enough people, so it's definitely not possible to fight hard. Xiao Chui looked anxious, her voice trembling with a little. If you can't fight hard, then just rush your brain. Since Zhao Tianba dares to take action, it means that he is a desperate bet this time. We have to take advantage of this to make him steal chickens and unable to steal rice. I gritted my teeth, and my brain moved quickly, and Lima pulled Xiao Chui to Qian's house. On the way, I had roughly had a plan. Although the risks were quite high, there was no other way now. When we arrived at the house, Qi Yunhuan was discussing the prevention with several trustees. When I saw me coming in, Lima asked, Physician Lin, I heard that Zhao Tianba had an action. Do you have any solutions? Young Master Qi, Zhao Tianba is going to take action tonight. He is probably trying to take advantage of the trouble to force the palace to directly wipe out you and even force his father to abdicate. Although his private army is injustice, it is actually a private tutor. It is not justified. We have to seize this point, disintegrate their talent first, and then fight back. I said and held out the entire plan. What you mean is not to confront them head-on for now and make them chaotic. Qian's eyes lit up, but hesitated. But once they don't make a mistake, aren't we more passive? Don't worry, I have a way to make them have to make trouble. Xiao Chui, if you go to the city to spread the news, you say that Zhao Tianba has been scouted. His private army wants to take advantage of the trouble, and the weak is not to avenge the master. Remember to let the news come to the ears of those private army. It is best to challenge them, so that they feel that there is no future in following Zhao Tianba. I turned around and gave Xiao Chui instructions, and then looked at Qi Yinxian. Young Master Qi, you have to be so close to the Forbidden Army loyal to the royal family. Even if you only need to touch a small team, you can give us a sigh. In addition, we have to bring the power of the people in order to let them know Zhao Tianba's treason, inspire the public to rebel, and give him the people's rebellion. After hearing this, Qiyun pointed and said, "Okay. Just follow what you said. I will send someone to contact the Ban Army and pharmacist Lin, spread the news and summoning the people, and I will hand it over to you. Time is tight, and I dare not delay." I immediately took Xiao Chui and a few reliable helpers to move. Xiao Chui was responsible for spreading rumors, so I went straight to the hospital in Chengdong. There are so many people and talkative things, which is the best promotional point. As long as the news is released, it will not take long to spread throughout the capital. When I arrived at the hospital, I jumped onto a high platform and shouted loudly in front of a group of people begging for medical treatment, "My country, tell everyone a bad news. Although the old man Zhao Tianba was imprisoned, his private army was going to rebel tonight and force the palace to take power. Neither Master Qi nor our medical centers for treatment will let go. Everyone, can we make this help sell the country successful?" As soon as this came out, the crowd below exploded. A big Han was full of energy and his face was red, and he shouted, "The dog thing Zhao Tianba has long been worth thousands of dollars. Yes, we can't sit and wait. Zhao Tianba has harmed us for so long, so we can't let him be vicious anymore." Another aunt also agreed, and the crutches in her hand were almost knocked off. I saw that the head was hot, and Lima continued to shout, "My country, Mr. Qi is really thinking about our people. Zhao Tianba's move this time is to cut off our lives. If everyone trusts me, they will go to the north of the city with me and snatch Mr. Qi's waist, so that the helping private soldiers know that the people in the capital are not easy to bully. Okay. Let's go with pharmacy Lin, let's have fun together." The crowd's sentiment was finally ignited. Several dozen people expressed their willingness to go with me on the spot. Some young man even ran home and took a slaughter and kitchen knife, and insisted on being a militia. I was moved in my heart. Although these people did not have much force, they were crowded. When it was really important, they would definitely put psychological pressure on the private soldiers who could fight against Zhao Tianba. At that time, I took these passionate and bloody people and headed straight to the house in Kyanjia, north of the city to merge. On the other hand, Xiao Chui's movements were not slow either. She brought several street gangsters to the ears of those private soldiers that Zhao Tianba was confiscated and that the private soldiers were purely trying to obtain power. These private soldiers are not just iron plates. Many people followed Zhao Tianba but for silver and future. When they heard that their master had fallen, they became more and more motivated. "Brothers, I heard that Lord Zhao is over long ago. We are now in. If we fail, we will have to take care of our lives. It's better to leave. It's better to die than to die in vain." A private army's little head muttered in a low voice. Several people next to us heard it and began to hesitate. The atmosphere in the team became more and more inconsistent. At the same time, good news was also coming from Qiyun. He contacted a small army of bands. Although there were only 100 people, they were at least regular troops, and their combat power and military aura were much stronger than those of private troops. As soon as the Ban army arrived, Qiyunhua directly ordered to bring people to guard the house and prepare for the war. The night became darker and deeper, and Zhao Tianba's private soldiers finally moved. There were about 500 people, with black pressure, coming from the south direction of the city. The house was huddled with clouds. The head is a head full of flesh, riding a tall horse, full of face killing. Xian Xiao, come out and die. If you don't hand over the head tonight, we will flatten the broken yard. The willow shouted loudly, and his subordinate Lima shouted and rushed forward. I stood on the high wall of the house, looked at the helper with a sneer, and said in a low voice to Qianhuan beside me, "Young Master Qi, you should almost let them see our trump card." Qian was pointed and immediately shouted, "Your lackey from Zhao Tianba, please hear it. Your master has been investigated by the revolutionary officers long ago. Is it a pity that he dares to rebel now? Is it a pity that I have a ban on troops behind me and the support of the people in the capital? If you don't surrender, you will be dead today." As soon as this happened, the private army was in a hurry. Especially when hearing the words ban army, many people's faces changed. They were already unstable because of their sarcasm. Now they saw that there was no ban on troops around the house, and they were even more panicked. "Brothers, don't listen to them talking nonsense. Lord Zhao gave us silver and rushed in to kill Qiyun. Everyone can be named a marquis and worship him." The leader was not good, and Lima shouted loudly, but the effect was not very good. Many private soldiers began to retreat, and even some small heads took people down and ran away. "My country, shout to me. Let this help sell the country, we are not easy to mess with." I saw the opportunity, and Lima signaled to the people behind him. "Zhao Tianba's lackey, roll out of the capital. Protect the young Master Qi, protect the pharmacist Lin." Several hundred people opened their voices together, their voices shocked the sky, and forced the private army's atmosphere to continue. The leader's face was blue and he gritted his teeth and wanted to order a slap, but the team was already in a mess, and the pressure was not heard. "Young Master Qi, let's do it." I reminded me in a low voice. Qian Lima ordered the Ban army to surround the two wings, and cooperated with the voices of the people to directly disperse the front of the private army. Those private soldiers had no ambitions. When they saw the other party come and scattered, they would collapse and flee in all directions. "Catch that head and don't let him run away." I pointed at the leader and shouted, and several band soldiers chased after him, and pulled him off immediately and took him to us in a big way. Say, what else did Zhao Tianba hide? Who was instructing this action tonight? I stepped on the chest, and the sound was as cold as a knife. The leader was sweating profusely and tremblingly. Yes, it was the secret letter sent by Lord Zhao from the prison, which made me take someone to force the palace, saying that as long as Qi Yunxian was killed, his confidant could take over the government. I am the one who listened to life. I'm so lucky. Zhao Tianba really doesn't see the coffin falling off. Come on, take this guy down and ask tomorrow. Let the people in the city see who is the real tyrant. In this battle, we won more with less, not only defeated Zhao Tianba's private army, but also captured the keynote certificate. As the news spread, the people in the capital clapped their hands quickly, and Qi Yunwan's reputation rose straight, and the ministers in the court who were originally looking forward to it also expressed their support. The next day, in the court, Qi Yun took last night's confession in evidence, and revealed Zhao Tianba's impotence. When the emperor, who was seriously ill in bed, heard about this matter, Long Yan was furious and issued a direct order to copy Zhao Tianba's door. His confidant did not leave any of his confidants and finally settled them cleanly. At the same time, the emperor also announced that Qi Yunhuan officially regained his throne as the crown prince for his contribution to the country and took over the government. Medical Master Lin, this is all too much for you. If it weren't for your advice, I would have ordered Huang Quan to be the one who is today, so how could I have the situation today? After the meeting, Qi Yun held my hand and was full of gratitude. Young Master Qi, don't thank me. We can win all the time with the support of the people and the band army. Next, you have to take advantage of this force to ascend the throne, push the new policy forward, and let everyone live a good life. This is the long-term plan. I responded with a smile, and my heart was already counting the blue map of the future. It took no time for the emperor to die due to illness. Qi Yunkong ascended the throne and changed his reign to Sheng'an. On the day of the throne ceremony, the capital city was filled with lights, and thousands of people were celebrating, and the streets and alleys were filled with shouts. After the new emperor came to power, the first sacred decree was to appoint me as a nationalist, to be responsible for people's livelihood and medical affairs, and to order the production of green pineapple throughout the country to cure the plague. Mr. Lingua, did you hear what new thing you were making? What is this time, or a medicine? Xiao Chui helped me organize the book, and asked curiously. Farm is an old business, of course I can't let it go, but this time I want to do something big, such as building water conservancy and building a school hall, so that the people can eat and wear warmth, and can still read books and characters. Think about it, when people who know characters everywhere in China are still cognitive, who dares to force them? I grinned and sent her the plan paper in my hand to see. Xiao Chui was stunned for a moment and then came back to her senses for a while, and gave a thumbs up. Lin Hao, your brain is really not a clue. If you really come to what you say, our country will not be able to go all over the world. I dare not say anything in the heavens, but at least everyone must live a good life. I smiled and patted her on the shoulder, looking at the warm street outside the window. In the next few years, Qian, under my support, implemented a series of new policies. Water conservancy projects allow farmers to earn every year, free school halls allow children who are living in other countries to read books, and medical centers are everywhere, and people no longer have to sell their doctors. The capital has become the center of the country. The Shan dynasty is filled with clouds and the streets are as prosperous as it has been every day since the new year. Even the Gentile envoys couldn't help but be surprised, calling the great race the Eastern prosperity. One evening, I stood on the high platform of the imperial palace, overlooking the brightly lit capital, with a satisfying feeling that I could not express in my heart. After traveling through this chaotic world, I originally wanted to save my life, but I didn't expect that I could really change this land in the end and let countless people live a good life. Mr. Lin, what are you thinking? Tonight's banquet is waiting for you to talk to everyone about the new policy. Qian walked over, patted my shoulder, and smiled. It's nothing, I just think that everything is like a dream. But it's a dream, but it's really awesome. It's worth it to see the great kingdom turn into this. I laughed and followed him into the hall. From then on, the prosperous legend of the great kingdom has become a story that has been passed down by later generations. And my name, Lin Hao, is also engraved in the hearts of the people forever, with this history.